Hello, friends and brothers. This is Justin Jones with Masonic Improvement. I'm joined with my co-host, Brother Dennis Yates. How's it going, Dennis?
Boy, it's wonderful tonight. And I tell you what, the reason why is because we have some brothers that I truly love and adore. You know, if you want to understand fellowship in Freemasonry, this is it. When you get together with Filipino brothers and you celebrate being Masons and you celebrate life and love and and Freemasonry, then you're not going to find a better way to do it than with brothers like these. And I'm going to introduce worshipful brother Vigil, and he is the worshipful master of Gray Lodge, and I adore you. I appreciate all that you do for Freemasonry. You do such a great job. I got to tell you, there aren't many lodges that are doing masonry like you are in Houston. And I I I I introduce you because I love you and I adore you. But will you please introduce all of our other brothers that are on the show with us?
Yes, brother, sir. Good evening. We have here the worshipful master of Albert J. Delane, worshipful brother June Tala. We have the another worshipful master of Walter Pilson, Stephen Aganan, and we have the junior warden of Solidarity Lodge in Houston, which is the bulk of the Filipinos congregate together. Uh,
Nice.
and we have some other brothers for emergency reason. They are all in medical fields that were not able to join, but they promised us that if they can jump in, they will. So I apologize. We're supposed to be seven total. So
Wonderful. Well, that if they do or don't, we have some great brothers here, and I didn't realize that Justin and I were the lowly of the group. That you know everyone here is has got an office and is somebody, and here we are just trying to make our name in Freemasonry on our show instead of through Freemasonry.
What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
I don't think office is relevant right now because you have done your part a long time,
Right.
especially you two, right? I like the Masonic Improvement podcast. We all
I
do.
th- I thought where Masons meet upon the level.
That's exactly right. Thank you, worshipful brother. I sure do appreciate you. That makes me feel good. So I will start with worshipful brother Vigil. Why did you join Freemasonry?
Okay. As I grew up in the Philippines, I saw my dad is in the police force and he's in the service, and he was surrounded by a lot of Masons. And I was just thinking, what is this Masonry about? And I've heard a lot of stuff about it. My dad is a solid Catholic practitioner, or um, how can I say it? But he's a Catholic, practicing Catholic, so he thinks of Masonry differently. Why I joined? Because all of these people that I see in the Philippines, they are great people, great leaders, do well, handle their family good, do a lot of stuff that I see them everywhere, right? And there is this one kid that I saw who was helped by the Shriners. And when I was in the Philippines, I really want to join the Freemasonry. Unfortunately, my position on that time is not allowing me to do so. We'll explore that probably later. Um, and then when I see that, the only way I can be like this Shriners guy that will help a lot of kids is to become a Mason. And then excited my curiosity as I pass by Gray Lodge every day that I go home. And it opens up one time, and there you go. The rest is history.
Nice, nice. Any other brothers would like to share your experience? So you joined here in Texas and not in the Philippines.
Yes, sir.
Very interesting.
Well, me and brother Stephen, when we joined Demolay. So Demolay, we already have the background about masonry and every Demolay in the Philippines. are aspiring to become Masons. So that's one of the reasons. Demole introduced me Masonry. I don't know about Brother Stephen, also a Demole here, but I think we have the same mindset about joining Freemasonry.
Yeah, I think for me it was a natural progression from joining Demole, and the reason why I got into Demole in the first place was my friends in high school were all had brothers that were in Demole, and their parents and their relatives were all Masons. And when I went to the lodge to join Demole, I fell in love with the story of Demole, which is a Mason taking care of a fatherless boy who had his um, father passed away during the First War. And as someone that had my father passed away when I was young, so that story, I related so much to it, and from there, like I kind of got inspired by the story. Like, who are these men that are willing to take on like young boys and form them and guide them to the right path? So in a way, like it was a natural progression for me, and it certainly piqued my curiosity into what masonry is all about. Then when I came to the U.S., I think I was 16 at the time, so I joined Demolay in the Philippines. Then when I came over, I joined Demolay again, and that's when I met, and that's how I got exposed to the Masons here in Texas.
Can you hear me?
Very
Yes, sir.
nice. Yes, we can.
Okay. So for me, I was drawn to masonry as well out of curiosity. Uh, my dad's hometown was, unbeknownst to me when I was young, was filled with masonries in the Philippines. I would see their cars that have had these square and compasses badges, and I'm like, what is this? But they never really talked about it. They kept it really down, secret, basically. And when I came to the US, it did not, you know, pique my interest back when two of my friends became Masons. And ultimately they're the ones who brought me to the lodge, Solidarity. When I kept asking about it and asking about how do you join? Do you get tapped if you're a good person or whatnot? So they they led me to the lodge, and that's how it all started. And so yeah, I call to seek knowledge and understanding about the fraternity.
Love it. You got a wide range of stories here. They're all really
Yes.
good. So I'll tackle the next question, and I won't ask it anyone directly. I'll just ask it, and whoever feels compelled to answer first, that's fine.
Sure.
But the next question is, how did the reality of Freemasonry compare with your expectations once you joined?
Let me answer that one. I think over time I came to realize that being a Mason is not about mere title or just appearance or a ring. I think it's about, when I got in, it's about the service, it's personal growth, and living the tenets of what we uphold, right?
Mm.
And I think the strength of our fraternity lies in its the values that we have, the brotherhood and charity.
I think also like my expectations or the reality of it changes as I progress through masonry. What my expectations was when I was raised was certainly different to what I know now. So I think it's an ever, like in anything in life, we're constantly learning, right? And it's the same thing in masonry. So it certainly has exceeded my expectations by a long shot, and I think it will always continue to grow.
Well, masonry for me is just like an instrument. If you don't use it, it's just like a paperweight. So for me, it depends on the person. Really, masonry is there. It depends on every mason. So to answer the question is, yeah, it exceeded my expectations because I've used it as many as of its teachings for my benefit, for me to be a better man.
I think I will join the gang, as we always have
You go
all
right ahead.
probably have benefited on it, and definitely exceed my expectations. Perfect example. If I'm not in masonry, we'll be in a podcast with Masonic improvement. If I'm not in masonry, will I know these brothers whom I love, and I know they will take care of me, and they will run barefooted at 3 o'clock midnight or morning. If I don't join masonry, will I have all this knowledge that I have right now, and what to believe, what is right or wrong? And to just like we always say, making good men better. I'm not saying I'm better now, but I'm better yesterday, and I will try to strive better for the reason that the square and compasses always guides us if you follow it, and that benefits me, and that exceed my expectation. Back in the days, I just want to be a mason. Now I want to do more. I want to learn more, and I'm getting it as I travel. So that's for me.
Very nice.
I like that. I like that a lot.
You know, I really enjoy the idea of the instrument, and I mean, I loved all of your answers, and you're absolutely correct. As we go along, the more we progress, the deeper the relationships are, the deeper the meaning, the understanding, and the more of an impact it makes on our own lives as we try to impact others' lives. And I love every bit of that. But I got to tell you, I really love that instrument analogy, because while you were saying it, I was thinking, man, I haven't played my guitar lately. And when
Just like
you know,
paperweight.
exactly. And you know, the reality is that sometimes I can play guitar really well, but when I don't practice in a while, then my fingers lose their calluses. It doesn't sound as good. It doesn't, you know, it just doesn't sound harmonious. It really just, you just can't make good music unless you practice regularly. And it's the same way with masonry. If we don't continue on and make it a part of our everyday life, then we kind of lose it. We kind of lose the luster. We'll just the journey just ceases to be as sweet.
Well, I feel like that ties in with like a lot of what some of the other brothers said. It'd be like with a chisel. If you had a big block of granite and you're given the working tool and you just sit there and you're like, well, it's still just granite. It's because you never applied it. You never did anything with it. You have to actually use a tool for it to get any effect. Not only that, but the more you use it, the better you get with it. You're not going to carve like a Greek statue the first time you do anything. It's going to be very rudimentary, and so you have to. And I said this in like the last live. Like Freemasonry is not passive in any way. If you're going to get anything of any value out of it, you have to actually apply the instruments to your life. So I really appreciate where everybody's coming from with this, because I think that's really.
Well, I hadn't figured out how to carve a smooth ashlar yet, so let's not talk about sculptures or anything. I'm still working on that smooth ashlar.
Bro, I don't even have a square. It's still just a big old boulder. So
You're right. Right. So it now I didn't notice who I can barely tell who jumped on. I wanted to know if you would like to say anything on this topic, or would you like to wait until
You're in
a
a
more
safe
opportune
area.
time? Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
we're sponsors. This is Rob David, sir. How are you all
Good
doing?
to see you. Good to see you. Glad you were able to make it.
Sorry, I'm driving right now. We just me and my wife. My wife is listening as well. So I just wanna say that I'm honored to be part of this podcast. And Masonry is I love Masonry. The moment I became a Mason, where you first made a Mason at heart. And some people, they said, you will receive a find the points of a sharp instrument and all that. But a lot of Masons, I'm not trying to say that. I've experienced so many that are only a ring bearer, only a square and compass holder, but they don't really take it seriously. But myself, I take Masonry very serious. And I don't criticize Masons. I don't criticize the brothers. Then again, when I see something that is awkward or different, that's when I say, "What is going on?" You know. So recall me if any other thing that I need to answer on the podcast, because I just joined and I'm kind of off in a way to what to answer and what's the topic is entailed. Yeah.
No problem. We're going to ask questions as we go along, and y'all just jump on as you want to. And I'm glad your wife is here. She'll keep you honest.
She wants to say something too, if she can.
Sure. Please.
There you go. What can you say about Masonry, Mama? Come on.
Hi, good evening, brothers. My name is Cecile. I am just happy that my husband is in this organization. Yeah, got a lot of experience, good experience with the brothers and the sisters. I feel the support of everyone whenever you needed ask for a favor and they're there. And I know that my husband is a better man because of this organization, and applying it as well in his life and in our marriage and our family.
Very good.
Very nice.
Thank you for the chance to talk.
Absolutely. I was going to say we've been doing Masonic improvement for about 8 years now, and she's the first woman to actually be on the show. So congratulations.
Yes.
We set history again.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you.
There you go. There you go. So now that you've said it, I want to know. Now, I have been to many festive boards, and you can always tell when the Filipino brothers are there. Every time they toast, they sing "Happy Birthday" to you. So, what's the purpose in doing that? Why do you say that?
Can I answer that question?
Yes, Principal Sir. Go
I think we
ahead.
have different versions, but go ahead.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is
That's
my
even
version.
better.
Okay, this is my version, right? It's very light. In the Philippines, we speak Tagalog, Visaya, or whatever. We have about 72 dialects, right?
Oh wow.
72 dialects. That's why sometimes we don't understand each other, even though we are all Masons, right? We speak different languages, right? So in the Philippines, we don't. In America, we have these cheers, right? When you're drinking. In Japan, you have this kanpai, and salu in Spanish, etc., etc. In the Philippines, we don't have. We say cheers like tagay, but nobody really say tagay in the Philippines. It's awkward to say tagay. Imagine this. As Filipinos, lifting the glass and tossing say tagay. No one will say that. What we always do when we lift a glass, oh, and then you sing happy birthday because it's everybody's birthday every day when you wake up. And when you're drinking together, it's supposed to be someone's birthday. It's lame, but that's my analogy.
Celebration. There we go.
That's the simple answer, right? It's like it's someone's birthday somewhere somehow. But the first time that I remember doing it, I think we were in one of the festive boards in Houston, and that was the first time we did it in front of outside the Philip brothers. But when I would do it, I remember it. So a brother, when we're having fun drinking, like brothers kind of tend to talk a bit more than the usual. So the way I stop them from doing that is just happy birthday to you. Like, let's stop talking. Let's just keep the party going. And I remember the brother, I'm not going to mention him right now, who I first did it to, because he was ranting about something. And I'm just said, happy birthday. Let's stop talking. Let's keep the party going.
Yeah, it's kind of combination of both. Like you cannot say it's 3 o'clock somewhere and then cheers, but you can say happy birthday because there's somebody's birthday somewhere.
There you go.
I remember. I think it was. Most Worshipful Ken Curry was the guest of honor.
I think earlier than that, but
when he was there, he kept looking towards the Filipinos. Who's what's
Yeah, I
going
think
on
this is
over
one of the
here?
Holland Festive board, right? When
Yeah,
they
that
all
was
did
it. Yeah, that was
when they
it.
all started it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Worshipful Howard Farm was still the senior warden or junior warden at
Not
that
even.
time.
Not even.
I can't remember.
Not even.
Yeah, well, I can't remember now. But yeah, just to say happy birthday, and then somebody's breaking the fun and then talking about blah blah blah. Then you just say happy birthday, and then the talk stops.
Stop talking.
That's how you do it.
Nice.
Well, we get kind of long-winded in this.
On my
fraternity, so I
version,
like that
my version. Sorry, no, it's it.
Go ahead.
Hello.
approach. Yeah, go ahead.
My version on the happy birthday, when I first heard it in the Philippines, what they're saying there is when you're all drinking, you're all Masons. When you sing happy birthday, it's all your birthdays. They're talking about Masonic birthdays. It's all your birthdays when you were raised, when you were together. That's the implication I got from them. That's what they said. So I guess it's all different way of, it's a fellowship happy birthday is what they say, what they call it.
Very nice.
Like it.
Well, and it can be applied the same. You know, it's
Right.
somebody's Masonic birthday somewhere.
Right.
Yeah,
Correct.
for
Yeah.
sure. Being that
Maybe
we're
John
worldwide.
has a different story about the happy birthday. Go ahead, John. You've been looking around.
Remind me, what is it?
All right. So now we're
On 4.
oh, this one's a tough one. This one, I don't know if y'all are ready for this one. This one's a tough one. It's a little too serious. You might start singing happy birthday. What do you feel are the strengths and the weaknesses of our fraternity? Let's start with the strengths first, or actually let's start with the weaknesses first, maybe the opportunities that we could do better, and then let's talk about the strengths. Let's end it on a high note on this question.
Oh, can I start with the strength?
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
If it's all strengths, then that's great.
No, because it's kind of awkward to start it with the weaknesses on my answer. I think the strength of the fraternity is the brotherhood and our passion. But also, unfortunately, at the same time, the weaknesses of our fraternity is the same passion that we use against each other's brothers. So that's my answer, and I will further explain it after they answer it.
That's a deep statement, and that's, I think you're absolutely right. I think that our passions can be both our biggest strength and our biggest weakness at the same time. That's
Drives us and blinds us.
yes.
I think for me, our weakness and our challenge comes not from the outside, but from within. Those who, after being raised, fade into the shadows rather than walking the path they once sought.
Wow, that's a good one. Yes.
A lot of them just faded, and there's even initiatives back a couple years ago, like bring a brother back, and that helped, but I'll end it there with that's a challenge, and then we'll jump in on the strength, or
It is for sure. I've dealt with that myself.
I think one of the weaknesses that we have is we tend to move slower when it comes to adapting new things, especially like the some members of our fraternity are very close guarded and on certain things that they don't want to see being changed. So in a way, like we're slow to adapt to changes, or we're not as nimble as we want to be. And if we want to continue this forward, I think it's one of those things that we need to work on.
If the weakness for me, I guess, is definitely comes from within ourselves, and the outside factor is, just like what the brother have said. It's us alone in the organization alone. that obligation itself is a big battle for everyone, for me, because sometimes we just how can you accept a brother when you're sitting in the lodge with him if you're not really accepting him as a brother? I think that's a weakness, for the reason that if some we just people just can't let go. If we are just true in our obligation, if we try to be true on our obligation, I think most of the weaknesses that we are talking about here will be at least lessened, or will be at least eliminated. If not eliminated, will be a little bit lighter, in the sense of it's coming from ourselves, why we are weak. We are weak in the sense of me just saying it, me just living it, because like a parrot, we all say, by not living the obligation is difficult. And I think another part of the weakness that I have in my mind, and I've been looking around, is the support. Are you really getting the support of a brother to brother, or just getting a support because, oh, you are just a brother because you're a Mason? That kind of stuff. Not all people can lend a hand. Not all people will run to give you a relief. Not all people can really extend the right cable toe or their cable toe. They say that, but do they mean it? That kind of stuff. I think that's what I'm seeing on my part. Again, I can only speak for myself, so that's on my side.
Interesting.
Those are real challenges. Yes, every one of them are impacting us in a negative way, and I'm encouraged that it's hard to put a positive spin on a negative, but I'm encouraged to know that brothers are thinking about these things on a regular basis. The worst thing we can do is not be thinking about these things and trying to figure out how we can better ourselves, right? And because if we don't try to change them ourselves, then it'll never change around us, for sure.
Correct.
Fix a problem you don't know about, right?
I think every one of them are very impactful to our fraternity.
Yeah, correct. There are things that you cannot control, but there are things that you can control, and make yourself as an example, not a grandstanding kind of example, but it's a kind of like helping others, showing that you are there for a brother. So you just hope eventually it will create a domino effect on all brother Masons, and it's gonna bring good to the fraternity, and that's really what my mindset is.
Well, let's look at this. What's the word I'm looking for? We'll come back to the weaknesses towards the end. Let's look at the strengths now. Like, what are the really positive things that we have going on in our fraternity?
I think our esoteric and our ritual is definitely our one of our strong aspects of our fraternity. It sets us apart from different organizations, and if and the way we teach the work, and the way the stories are taught to candidates, that's very unique, and it's certainly one of the best things that I enjoy about a fraternity.
When you get things easy, you're just gonna take that for granted.
Mhm.
What this is just a follow-up of Brother Stephen. The esoteric, the our obligation, it's not easy to memorize those things. You really work hard for those, to get to know those things, and once you get to know those things, you're not gonna forget because you work hard for it. That's why it's really our strength, and it's unique, and I am proud to be part of it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Another strength is our numbers, right? There are Masons everywhere. There are brothers everywhere. I think that's the number one strength that we have. That's different from, and all of this fraternity, probably, and we're the oldest, right? We all know that we are the oldest fraternity in the whole world. And I think all these fraternities or other organizations are patterned to our fraternity at some point, right? The rituals, the works, the initiations, or whatnot. Even the obligation, even the constitution. At some point, you can see the resemblance into it. I think that's our strength because it's been there. We have a lot. We are the lots of brothers around the world, and don't get me wrong, those are fine brothers that I've met as I travel. I think that's a strength for us that we can connect, even though different jurisdiction, even though I don't know you. When we talk about something in common, there will always be that bond, and it always cement us. That's like what we have been taught, right? So I think that's one of the biggest strength for me of Freemasonry.
I like that one as well.
Yes, in addition to that, worshipful vigil and brethren, I've experienced so many strength during my masonry. Until now, I have hosted so many Masons, Filipino Masons around. I had guests. I had invited many brothers from another jurisdiction, from another country. They come to the house. They stay to the house, and I went to visit a brother I have never met, and I have attended a wedding of his daughter. That I was just invited, and my son said, "Do you know this guy? Do you know?" I said, "No, he's a brother." So I will find out. So things like that. It's very amazing. Amazing feeling that when you meet a brother that you don't even know, that you never met, first time you'll meet, and he already invited you, and things like that. It's a beautiful feeling, and the fraternity that we are in it, and it's awesome. We went to New York. I met this. My wife and I, we've been wanted to watch a Macy's parade, and I attended Jewel P. Lightfoot meeting, and there was a brother, the guest speaker from New York. So after that, they took pictures, and this brother who saw me in the picture and messaged me said, "Are you Filipino? Are you what lands are you?" "I'm from New York, and so and so." So we introduced each other. We introduced each other, and then later on, I said, "I've been wanting to go to New York and watch the Macy's parade. I've never met the brother. We just talk on the phone, and then come to find out he's Kapampangan. We speak the same dialect, and so on and so forth. To make the long story short, I bought a ticket. We went to New York, and Thanksgiving, and there you go. I mean, we spent Thanksgiving at their house. He picked us up. What more can you ask? If you really take Masonry seriously, very serious, it's beautiful. I had so many guests at the house. They worshipful TP from East Texas, from Tyler. He when he was installed to become a worshipful master, I picked up all his family Masons, our brothers from Cebu, and I host them all in our house, and it's just I always open my house in every Mason I always offer the house. I always tell them, if you're ever here in Dallas, Texas, you need a home, you have a home here in Dallas, and just let me know. You're all welcome here, and you're in your family. That's the beauty of our Masonry, brother. That's the strength I find in our Masonry.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I've actually been on the receiving end of that as well, with brothers, inviting me out to different states and inviting me into their homes and things of that nature. And I absolutely agree. There's nothing more rewarding than feeling the strength of our fraternity in our membership. It's being able to connect with brothers around the world is wonderful.
Right. True. That's true. Yes. Okay. Okay. Sister here wants to add something.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm in the meeting, so you have to bear with me. So recently we were in the Philippines. We went home to the Philippines, but we had a 20-hour layover in Japan.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Brother Rob was telling me, one of our Japanese brothers is gonna meet us, like take us to lunch and da 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 da. And then, long story short, he came and met us, and he was very apologetic that he's a little bit late. And then I realized, I thought he drove for like an hour or so to get to meet us, but he told us he took the train for 5 hours just to meet us for
Wow.
lunch, take us to the
Wow.
airport, and drove back, rode the train back to his home. So I was like so awestruck, and it's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry you had to travel that far. But it's
Right,
no,
right.
no, no. I wanted to meet you and I wanted to see you, and it just like I'm kind of tearful. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that you took that, sacrifice, that effort just to
Right.
see us and host us because we're in Japan. And that just proves that,
5 hours on the train,
you're
brothers, and
willing to endure.
so I've met Brother Very Worshipful Tanaka, sir. Very Worshipful Tanaka is Japanese. I host them with the brethren from Cebu during annual communication in Angeles City last year. And usually, before annual communication, I host a fellowship at the house in Angeles. And it so happened the ALCOM is in Angeles City. So all the Cebu brethren, including the Japanese brethren, they're all included in one bus. So I host the whole bus in the house. And that's when Very Worshipful Tanaka fell in love with me right there. So he always messaged me, he always texts me, and he said, if you ever come to Japan, and unbelievable. It's a beautiful feeling when he came, and I said, did you drive here? He said, no, brother, I took the bus, a train for 5 hours just to see you and your wife.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is
Right?
awesome.
Uh,
That's
so if you
like
have
taking a
something,
trip across Texas to
Yeah.
see,
That's
just
right.
to meet up with a
exactly.
brother.
You
Amen.
should
Yeah.
you should have told him I took the plane for 12 hours just to meet you too.
And that
Right.
is one of the thread of Freemasonry, make it more fun.
Oh
Make
yeah.
it more fun.
Yes. Yes. That's
You
awesome.
guys, and being in a Mason, you have to really introduce yourself, and don't be shy. You're a Mason. You have to. That's why we're travelers. You travel. You find everywhere I go, I look for Masons. Every city, every country where we go, I look for Masons, and that's the beauty. And we were in Hawaii. This other brother I've never met. He was in the military. He picked me up, and then after all, later on the following day, he introduced me to the Grand Master of Hawaii, and the past Grand Master of Hawaii. We had fellowship, so that's the beauty of Masonry.
Yes, for sure. For sure. And we tell everybody on our show that, there's two things that we really have to focus on in our journey, and that is book time and travel time. You have to
That's
travel
true.
and you have to study. If you don't, then you're really missing out on what Freemasonry has to offer.
That is true. That is so true. Yes.
Does anyone else have a strength to cover? I don't know if we went through everybody or not.
No, well, let me just make another follow up of the strength. As what brother Dennis said, that you have to study and you have to travel. I think Masonry is whoever founded Masonry is very very genius. He put Masonry as like one side is having fun, the other side is learning. If you have both, if you can do both, then you are a gifted Mason. It's okay if you cannot do both, as long as you have a counterpart who can do the other side and you work together. So I'm just saying it loud.
Good observation. Yeah. Dennis, you want to get the next question?
Well, like I said at the beginning of the show, I wanted to skip the idea of where are we going to be in 20, 30 years. Um, and I really wanted to go to um, what can we do to cure the weaknesses in our fraternity? What do you think will help us to achieve that equilibrium in our fraternity with when it comes to those weaknesses that y'all stated before?
Let me chime on that one, and I might step out a little bit. But I think decades from now, when we're all said and done, or we're all gone, I think Masonry will still be here, or it will be here. It will continue, I think, to evolve, preserving its traditions, of course. I think one way to strengthen is our bond is to ensure every brother has a role, encouraging continuous engagement through leadership and responsibility.
That's a good one. I like that.
For me, I think one of the glaring challenges that we have is our numbers. It's no secret that our membership is
Exit part.
dwindling, and I'm not a big F1 fan, but I was Formula One, but I saw this documentary about it, and they said like in 2015 or 2016, the previous CEO didn't want to invest in marketing and social media because he didn't want to tap into the young market, because he didn't believe that the young people could afford the sponsors or the sponsors that they have for F1. So he felt like it was a waste of time. But when F1 got bought by Liberty Media, like a
Oh my
media
God.
marketing company, they tapped into social media. And I think for the most part, we're doing a great job, like especially the younger lodges are showing up are posting on social media platforms. And I know Masonry doesn't recruit, but it shouldn't stop us from showing that we're having a good time. Because the more the public sees that what we're doing through our fundraisers or our just fellowships, the more people would recognize that and be more curious as to what Masonry is all about. So I think for the most part, some of us are active on social media, and I think it's a great tool to definitely show our communities what Masonry is all about. Because at the end of the day, like if we keep closed, and I mean if we keep our the lodges closed and not open in a good way, I think it will hurt us in the long run.
It only takes two generations to wipe out an organization. Two. And we cannot keep on having like 80-year-old members. We need to adapt. And what you guys have been doing, your podcast is very, very admirable, commendable, because this is how we reach the young kids, the young adults, or the future Masons. We cannot just keep it to ourselves. We cannot just keep it to ourselves. It only takes two generations to wipe out an organization. We cannot keep on having this like annual communications with an average age of probably like 60. It's not. Our organization won't survive. So we have to adapt. And social media at this point in our history is really very instrumental and a very useful tool for us to use. We don't have to give our secrets. We just show it to them how we do it. We give how charitable we are and how we're having fun. And that's what I think.
Yeah, for me, I think if we involve more our family, I think family it's all should start. I'm happy that we have a sister here that were able to join the podcast. If the wives or the family supports you, definitely gonna go a long way. If the family and the child or the whole family supports you and show that you're involved in masonry, that they are also involved in masonry, you'll draw more attention. If you have the support of that group, imagine how many people we have here, how many families we can capitalize on. And if we show that, broadcast it by using this platform that Barry Stephen is saying, of course, Freemasonry would live on, but it probably pick up some other, you know, some other curious members or curious listeners or viewers to seek what is Freemasonry. Um, and also just to tap on what Brother June was saying, uh, we need to find a niche where we can tap. I'm in sales. Let me put it that way. So as probably Brother Dennis is knowing this, we need to assess what this particular brother wants if he comes in the lodge. We need to assess that and provide that because we have everything to offer. But if you don't see what the need is, just like selling, how can you sell a product if there's no need? Right? I think that's what we need to. Guarding the West Gate is always there, but guarding the West Gate is also identifying the needs of the buyer who's trying to come in.
Mhm.
If it's really worth it. If it's not, then yeah, we don't have a problem with that. But if we deem that they are qualified or they're already in, what can make them more interested is identifying their needs. Are they interested on just games or just fellowship or esoteric or just learning or just the history or anything, right? If we quadrant it properly, we identify that need and we tackle that need, I think masonry will keep on progressing, progressing. Um, the old school is old school. And I agree with the fact that change is inevitable. We need to adopt change. For what change we need to do, I don't know. Maybe the change for me is something that will make more fun. Probably some people, again, it's just identifying the need of that particular person coming in or outside the door.
And to piggyback on what Brother Vigil said on earlier, as far as like getting the families involved, one of the good things that my home lodge, and I think everyone, all the Filipino brothers here except for Brother Rob, we're all members of Solidarity. Um, the good thing that we do over there is the wives are very involved. So, for example, last Friday we had a third degree, and then I want to say there was probably like 20 brothers. Not only that, but we also had the wives there that waited until 10:30 till we finished the third degree and stayed longer and joined the fellowship. And I think when people see that, when you post that on social media, they're like, oh, it's not just a man's thing. Well, it is a man's thing, but also there's room for women in it. So I think that's the beauty of of our lodge specifically, because not every lodge does it, but um is the family aspect, and we need to tap into that, because if your husband wants to join this group and she sees that, oh, women are welcome there, I guess I could let my husband join or spare a few Fridays. We meet every second Friday, so that's why I'm setting an example Friday. But I think if they see that, I think it's a very positive thing.
I used to be not like adamantly, but I used to be pretty against bringing wives and kids to the lodge, just because in my mind it was just that was the guy spot. Like it was a place for guys. But recently, one of my lodges, well, I say recently, it's been a year now, the car marshal master started this program and he was inviting people from the community into the lodge to be recognized. But he was also encouraging them to bring their wives and everything. So everyone else started bringing their wives. And when you're sitting there at dinner and you're looking around and the building's packed, like it's full, that's not something a lot of lodges get to experience. And let's be honest, you're not going to pack it unless you bring your family anyway. And you're not talking about anything that's so important that there's no reason why. I mean, you're not talking about anything that's like esoteric, like a secret at dinner time, on a typical dinner. So I kind of came around to that because it's nice. It's nice sitting, knowing that you're about to have a meeting, and you have people from the community that aren't Masons, but maybe they're interested at some point. But if they're showing up and it's just like five guys as opposed to like 15, 20 people, their wives, their families, that makes a lot bigger impression. And so it's it's a good thing in my opinion. I like it.
I like one of the things that I've really been focused on here lately. I'm writing a paper for a presentation that I'll be giving in Santa Fe at Serenity Lodge in May, and the discussion is going to be on social aspects of Freemasonry uh, in the past as well as where we are today. And for a long time, I always believed that people were doing Masonry wrong or this and that. And then, in fact, when Justin and I met, and I came on the show the very first time, I discussed lodges
We already
being
had it figured out when
well-rounded.
you came. Like we knew exactly how to do it. We knew all
But
the answers, right?
so I know, man, boy, we had all the answers. So the idea was that lodges be well-rounded and whatnot, and it the reason why is because it creates value. Well, and then we got off onto these tangents on oh, it should only be education, only be education. And then it was only be this, only be this. And then I started thinking about it, and Justin and I both kind of come to this realization that it really is about the value. It's about that value proposition. Back in the day, when everybody went with the joiner generation, that was the value for them, was everybody just wanted to join. They wanted to be a part of something. They were coming in from war and just wanting to be a part of a brotherhood of people who have been through the same things. So lodges grew exponentially. Well, today we're going through a renaissance and people are enjoying education a lot more. So you see lodges incorporating education into their lodges, because that's what the younger men, or I say younger, but the younger Masons are wanting as they're coming in the door. They've learned all this on the internet. Now they're looking to see what it really is all about in our lodges. So they're looking for that education. But, they're also looking for fellowship, and they're also looking for the charity aspect. And so if we don't identify what the value is, and possibly even assign a mentorship program to where it helps match people with like interests to keep them active and keep them involved in their lodges, I think that might just actually work. And we were in, I think that y'all touched on something with the membership. We were in a situation. My father didn't join Masonry. My grandfather was, my great grandfather was, my great great grandfather. I mean, down the line. My dad didn't. Nobody ever talked to him about Freemasonry. He really didn't understand it. He thought, that he was just bucking the system. It was like, he came back from Vietnam and it's like, I don't want anything to do with the establishment. Well, so he didn't join. So we lost that generation. And you're absolutely right, talking about, two generations will wipe out an organization. We lost that generation. We really didn't have the membership coming in that we could have or should have had. If my son, if I only had one son and that son cared about what I was doing in life, you would think he would join. So we lost that whole generation. So now we need to have our family involved. We need to, be the example and let, let people see what we're doing, not the secrets, but see what we're doing and help them find where they fit in Freemasonry, because Freemasonry is so all encompassing. I believe in everything that you guys have said. You brothers have said. I'm sorry. I believe in everything that you brothers have said, and I believe that you've all hit different aspects of what we should be looking at in our fraternity. And I'm going to tell you, worshipful brother Vigil, you're on it. That's it. It's the value proposition. I've been a salesman all my life as well, and if you don't, well, and it's just like being a doctor. If you don't figure out what is wrong with the patient, if you can't have that conversation and figure out what's wrong with the patient, you're not going to be able to fix them or heal them. You know, it's the same way with Freemasonry. If we can't connect with the men that are coming in the door, they're just going to walk right back out just as quick as they got here.
Just keep prescribing fish fries. They'll come around eventually.
A lot of work.
That's a lot of work. That's absolutely right. I would rather just give the money. I'm sorry. I would rather just give the money and call it a day and let's do something else. Let's go have a scotch and talk Freemasonry or whatever and sing happy birthday. Yes. Next time, for now on, when he brings up fish fries, I'm just gonna start singing happy birthday.
Dennis, I know you wanted to deviate a little bit from the question, so I don't know really kind of. I know you talked about it, but I don't remember what you said you wanted to handle next. So if you want to go ahead and ask the next question also.
I really just wanted to hear from each brother what value they get from our fraternity. And because I think that it's important for people to understand what people are getting out of the fraternity, because it's not always the same. So I would like to know, and if it is the same, that's great. If it's not, then that's okay too. I would like for each brother to define the value that you're getting out of the fraternity as a Filipino brother. I mean, face it, you're a Filipino brother in Texas. You're in Texas, where everybody has a straw hat and cowboy boots. And so what value are you finding in Freemasonry in Texas?
Everybody, I can't really contribute to that. I'm not Filipino.
Why don't you start, Justin? Okay.
Go ahead.
Value. Okay. It gives more meaning for me in my life. What's the value of Freemasonry for me? Joy. You know, I'm a salesman. I travel for life, right? I travel, go different places and everything. And all of this acquaintances make it easier. I just like an example, just like what the brother have said, brother Rod the Bid was saying that he went to this place. I had that experience too many times. I went to Louisiana. They don't even want to let me into the lodge because that small card does not work. That says that, oh, I'm a deuce card. It doesn't work. If we don't have that common works that that is been taught to us, that we can challenge each other, I will not be able to enter.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Right? Okay. In the Philippines, when I went there, what's the value of it? All those people that I didn't know that are Masons, and they figure out that I am a Mason, it just open up opportunity for me being with them, open up opportunity for a different level of friendship, different level of connections, open up opportunity for helping my children, open up an opportunity for being with their families, that kind of stuff. So I think, and I believe that as we keep on doing what we're doing, which is being on that that do bounds on in not exceeding what we need not to be exceeding. I think it will benefit, and I'm benefiting out of it, and that's the value that I'm getting. I'm having you as a brother. The value of masonry, of course, rounding up myself. Back in the days, my patient is like this. Honestly, I'm a troublemaker back home. You know, let me tell you this. I'm not. I think this is a bragging right. I'm the son of a police chief, right? Whatever I do, will get the, you know. But what I'm saying is, it changes. You know, it's not who I should be. It's not that, oh, I can just be easily take you for granted. No, it's not that, because I want to be treated the way, I want to treat people the way I need to be treated. And I think I learned it from Freemasonry also. And basic is that patience. That's a value for me right now, big time.
Nice.
The value I get is the esoteric, the teachings, because you ever wonder why you meet a brother and it feels like this brother has you've been brothers for like
For so long.
decades.
Right.
It's because of our esoteric,
Mm.
because we know that this brother had been had been going through with the esoteric, had been memorizing all those things, had been doing the hard work to become a Mason. So you have the same learning experience until you become a third degree Mason. So right away you feel so close because you have the same experience anywhere in the world.
Mhm.
That's the value I get out of Masonry. It's the esoteric. However, we should not it after the esoteric, after we become friends, what's next? Our being sociable. So that's what I said from the beginning, that it goes hand in hand. If you have both, like you are very well versed in esoteric and at the same time very sociable person, then you are a gifted Mason. If you only have one, you like to memorize and you are like how do you call it, the not outgoing person, that's okay. As long as you partner with an outgoing person, it works well. If you're an outgoing person, well, you have to memorize. You don't have to be very, very proficient, but you should memorize too. And
Mhm.
that person who is not an outgoing person will help you. So it like that's a value I get.
I think for me, it's definitely the support structure. There's no greater feeling than having each other's back in the fraternity, and uh, to as a support structure. If I could, an example I can give is during COVID. COVID was tough for everyone. People, brothers lost their jobs, were
Mhm.
furloughed, and most of us were just staying home. And I don't think I saw as many brothers as I did outside of COVID. Like we hung out more during COVID
During COVID,
than after COVID. Like we were at Brother June's house like every day doing crawfish boils. I know it, although we weren't supposed to, but we were during lockdown. We were there always. Nobody had your barber was unavailable, so a brother started cutting someone's hair, like my hair or
Oh
somebody
man.
else. Um, we hung out all the time grilling, roasting pig. His HOA was complaining that we were smoking or roasting a pig in the driveway, but it was all fun. And I think some of a lot of our brotherhood was strengthened during COVID because all we had was each other, and it was fun. But I wouldn't go back during COVID, but it was certainly a great experience for the brotherhood.
Anyone else have anything? No? Dennis, did you have anything else you wanted to ask?
I tell you what, that's interesting about the COVID thing because we kind of did the same thing in Goliad. We didn't go to everybody's house and have barbecues or anything, but we actually still went up to the lodge and did some work. But we redid the floors and all kinds of stuff at our lodge during COVID. We remodeled the lodge. That was my year of being worshipful master, and there was no way that I was gonna sit around and let COVID ruin my year as worshipful
of
master.
course.
So we got busy and we worked on the lodge and we stuck together and there was probably 10 of us that kept kept in contact and kept going up to the lodge and working together and doing all kinds of things. in Goliad, we didn't really have to worry about the things that people had to worry about in the bigger cities. We're just little town of 1,600 people. I think we had maybe 10 cases throughout the entirety of COVID.
The
So
whole
it,
town was a little quarantine. Like you were already quarantined.
so
if you're in
so we
Goliad.
were we stayed quarantined. We're still quarantined. When people come in for the Phantom Memorial this weekend, that's when we're unquarantined. That's when we're not quarantined.
Nice.
But I think that's wonderful that you talked about that and the brotherhood and how we are able to connect. And this is one of the ways that Justin and I connect. What's funny, you mentioned the opposites of people, the introvert and the extrovert. So Justin is more of an introvert than I am. And so that's kind of what makes our show work so well. He's always in the background, working his tail off, and I'm always, trying to steal the show anyways. But it works well, and we tend to do all right. But there's truth to that, and there's a lot of truth to the internal growth that takes place along the way. And I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. And I am so grateful to know you brothers. And I grew up in the Dallas area, just so that I actually, I'm aging myself here, but man, I was a skater in downtown Dallas. I would head in and skate all night long on my skateboard and rip it up in Dallas. But that was my everyday almost. But I'm so grateful to meet, all you brothers. Well, most of you I've met before, but I'm so grateful to have met you coming in from Dallas and being on the show. And I think that it just gives opportunity for us later to when we get together, we can get to know each other even better, because we not only have that common bond of the ritual, like you were talking about, but we also have this common bond of really talking about some of the things that matter to us in Freemasonry. And that's why Justin and I do this, I think, is trying to create those connections and help people connect around the world.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, let's you want to jump into final thoughts?
Sure. I almost gave a final thought there, but
I was like, Dennis, you're skipping ahead here.
I got ahead of myself. So let's go around and each one of you give some final thoughts on the discussion. Then Justin will go right before I do. I usually close it up, and then we'll call it an evening.
Nobody wants to talk when Dennis finishes.
Yeah.
We're all exhausted by that.
You're all asleep.
So whoever wants to go first.
I'll start first. Thank you for having me. And what you've been doing, this Masonic Improvement podcast, is very, very inspiring. And I hope it multiplies your viewers, and other people will also be inspired of doing what you're doing. So it's a positive thing. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming
on. Thank you for having me on board, and it's always great to see these brothers that I see on a regular basis, but now in a different format by little boxes. So it's kind of weird and funny in a way, but it's an honor to be here. And I thank y'all for taking an interest in the Filipino brothers, and in a way, like shedding some light on what we do, mostly the happy birthday. But I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Okay, I don't know if Rob wants to say something. He's on mute. Anyway, so I'll give first thank you again for allowing us to be in part of your podcast. I'm a fan. Long time ago when I met Dennis back in the days, and I met Justin over there at small shop during one of the annual communication. Oh, those are the guys that running that Masonic Improvement. Oh shoot, I need to talk to them, right? Because I'm a fan. You just don't know. You just don't know that people are listening to you, picking good stuff from what you do. for
Mhm.
what you broadcast. I've learned a lot, I've seen a lot, and I've observed a lot. And why I like Masonic improvement, because what you give value to Freemasonry, what you give value to the brothers, what you give value to me as a person and as a brother, what you give value to the craft, and what you give value to the world as we live in. And that's for me, it's a salute to you guys. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for tapping the Filipinos, or give an excitement more, give bring back more joy in our life by talking. Oh, we are getting noticed, not because we want to be broadcasted, but we want to share our experience. Because again, in brother Dennis was there when I didn't know that it's a history that we made when we have that the Grandmaster of Texas and a delegate from the Grand Jurisdiction of the Philippines met together. I think it's one good thing that this shows the bond that we share together, that common bond. I keep on saying, and again, salute to you, brothers, and I wish that may the blessing of heaven be with you and your podcast, and go long and give lights to us, your listeners and your fans, or if I may say. Thank you, and
Very
thank you, and
much.
thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything?
Well, thank you, brother, for inviting us in this podcast. Truly grateful and appreciate it. Especially my wife. We're already home. She let me in the car, so she went inside and she said thank you to you all, brothers, and gave her the opportunity to talk as well. And it means a lot for me to see my wife being involved. And that's one thing. The values that I found in Masonry is tremendous. It's huge. There's no words can explain. Every day I thank God for putting me in Masonry. To be honest with you all, and when I became a Mason, it's just like my world, like it got bigger. My connections, my friends, my brothers, and you know, I think it's also in the way your personality as well. And my personality, even I am not shy person. I will express myself no matter what, no matter even my English is broken. I will express myself as long as they understand me. So that's one thing and I love to host. I love fellowship. I love drinking, of course. I love happy birthdays and I think that's one thing that in masonry that when you have masonry in your heart wherever you go, and you can tell if a brother mason is quality or not. And that's one thing I've learned. I can tell if a brother mason is quality or not. So with that being said, um, again, thank you so much, and it's good seeing you all, and I appreciate you all for allowing us in this podcast. And may the blessings of heaven be with us all. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Yes. Anybody else? I'll just say when I was looking at the email with all the people that were going to be on the show. It's like we have never done a interview show with so many guests. I was excited, one, but I was also
We
kind of
had
nervous.
to.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
had to.
But I think this has gone really well, and I appreciate it. It's sometimes it's hard to get even just one or two people to get their
Mhm.
schedules to align, but to have so many people at once with the schedule working out like it is, it means a lot to me. It means a lot of people move things around to make this happen. Um, that said, I really appreciated y'all coming on and hearing me being able to hear your perspectives on Freemasonry and a little bit of local lore with the birthday thing, and
And
so
barbecuing pigs on the
barbecue
on
pig.
the
Barbecue pigs. Yep.
on the
Hey,
Are you
you know,
are
driveway.
you
That's
going to the
awesome.
if my
Philippines? Are
neighbor
you
was
are you going to
barbecuing
the
pigs,
Philippines with us?
do what?
I would
Are you going to the Philippines with us?
one of these days I will. I
Okay.
think in 2 years is that
Next
when
year.
when is
Well,
it next year? Next
Mhm.
year. Okay, I'll have to talk to my wife about it. What date is that?
Always in
Always third
April.
Thursday.
What are y'all,
Yeah, always third weekend of April.
what are y'all
Third
going
week,
for?
second or third week of April, usually, right? Yeah.
What's it going to be? Like what's
And
the event?
lodge, annual
Lodge?
communication.
Interesting.
I will just claim that as my birthday trip
Amen.
because it
Now we can sing a lot of happy birthday,
happy
bro.
birthday. Yes, it will.
Brother Jeff Fraser, right?
Mhm.
Yes, one
Yeah.
of my
So
one of
yeah,
my dearest brothers.
we are good friends. So he's gonna go to the Philippines next year because every year I go. So next year my wife is going. So he already commit himself that he's gonna go next year. So if you want to
Okay.
tag along, come and I will make you happy down there.
Very nice,
and
very
you have
nice,
and you have a home there too. So you have a home there.
wonderful.
So don't worry about your accommodation. We'll take care of you there, you and your wife, your family, and we'll show you around.
Nice.
Very nice. That makes it even better. My wife travels everywhere with me. If y'all have ever
Mhm.
watched on Texas Freemasons, I don't post a whole lot without my wife because she's always with me everywhere I go because
Yeah.
I don't want to do this life alone. I want to do it with her. So, that's awesome. I can't wait to tell her.
Yes, sir. Yes. You're welcome there. You have a home there. Just let us know. Any of us will accommodate you there. So,
Awesome.
Awesome.
but when I host Bob Moran here last year, right, Brother Vigil? Was it last year? Yeah, last year he was at the house and his wife and family, and of course, right, worshipful Brad Billing was here as well. And the wives are all here. I invited the couples. So the wife already agreed with right worshipful Bob Moran's wife to that they will host the us in next in 2026. So it's already been set. So
Nice.
just
Wow.
let
And
your wife don't
what's
worry.
really crazy? That
Yeah,
Friday is my birthday.
Mhm.
there you
Oh,
go. We can
we
celebrate
can
your
really sing
birthday
happy
there.
birthday.
Boy, that's
Yeah.
what a
Mhm.
treat. What a
Dennis,
treat.
you want to go ahead and do your final thoughts?
Go ahead, Justin.
No, I did.
Did you? I didn't. I don't even remember now. I'm so excited
You never
about this.
listen to
Okay.
anything I say.
All right. Don't worry. I'll listen to you when I'm critiquing our show.
Okay.
He always gets a phone call from me after a show because I always listen. I'm always listening to make sure that we're on track and doing well.
All right.
If I hear something weird, I'll always call him. Hey, what's going on? But anyways,
Okay,
um,
so I have the date. Sorry, I have the date. Date is April 22nd to 29. That will be the annual communication. That's
On the
that date.
26th, on 2026, right?
2026.
For 2020. There you go.
okay,
That's the week for the annual communication. Sorry.
22nd to the 29th. Okay, it is in my
Um,
phone. Nice. I'll make sure and talk to her as soon as I get done. All
you
right.
will get a pass for sure.
Wonderful, wonderful. Um, brothers, again, I am so grateful for y'all coming on the show. There's when I was talking about it before y'all coming on, um, I talked about it on several of our lives, and I said, there aren't many brothers that have made an impression on me like y'all have. From that very first time I saw you do the festive board with the happy birthdays and all that, just the love and fun the and then just getting to know worshipful brother Vigil, just getting to know you and realizing the love and passion you have for not just the craft but for me. I feel that when I'm around. I know that you care about me. And that's something that, we just don't always see in Freemasonry like we would like to. And I think that we ought to. And I think that if anyone takes anything away from this show, they ought to understand that we should care about one another more. We should celebrate one another more, and challenge each other to become better at all times. Otherwise, if we're stagnant, we're not any good to anyone. We're not any good to our fraternity, ourselves, or our families. And that's what we do this for, is to find joy in this life, this one chance we have as far as we know. So we want to find joy in it as much as we can, and we definitely want to make sure that our family is there with us as we go along. For me, that's what I noticed from you, and that matters to me, and that's why I wanted you on the show. When and each and every one of you have contributed to my journey, and now you're contributing to thousands and thousands of other people's journey. I don't know what our numbers are right now, but I think we have around 15, 16, 17,000 viewers.
We're actually 50 away from 16,000.
Wow.
See, there we go. There we go.
Congratulations.
So maybe our next 50 will be from the South Pacific. Is that that's where the Philippines are? So maybe our next 50 will come from the South Pacific. But this journey has meant so much to me, and having y'all be a part of it is extremely, extremely special. And I look forward to the show that we're gonna have in May. Right Worshipful, I can't remember his last name. I feel bad now. Well, you'll have to edit that out, Justin.
I'll cut that part.
But the Right Worshipful said that he was going to come on the show in May when he comes back into town for business, and so I'd like to have him on the show in May for sure, to talk a little bit more about Filipino Freemasonry from the Philippines perspective. Yes.
Bob
Right
Moran,
Worship. Right Worshipful. Yes. Right Worshipful Moran. Yes. And
Yeah.
so he said he wanted to be on the show, and so I definitely want him to be on the show. I think Justin does as well. And so when he does, maybe we can get y'all on again to celebrate that.
Why not?
Sing happy birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, we can do it.
Well,
Yes.
then I'll definitely have my scotch with me that time. We'll have some drinks.
Right.
But this has been a great show. I think it's going to be a good episode for everyone. And if anyone doubts the sincerity of brothers, I'm going to tell you that these brothers are the example. They're the ones that live out what they're talking about on the show. They live it out, and that's why I wanted them on the show. And I think that we would all benefit if we work just a little bit harder to celebrate each other and to challenge each other like these brothers do. And I am very proud to call you brother. So with that being said,
Same here, brother.
brothers, thank you so much for coming on the show. As always, Justin, thank you. Brothers, I love you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah.
And keep it between the points.